Up, is everybody okay? Babe, this is our first live in our new digs. Congratulations, you did it. You did it, you did it, you did it. Guys, listen really carefully. Hold on, let me make sure that the mic is on the right setting. Nope.
Hey
there
guys,
we go, there we go.
Morning.
Great morning, great morning, great morning. Guys, listen, we're in a brand new environment, which will be our permanent environment. Thank you, Jesus. We're super excited to have you guys come along for the ride. Let's go ahead and just make sure that we're on. Guys, listen, if this is your first time on, then do me a favor, put first timer in the chat, right? If this is your first time on, do me a favor, put first timer in the chat. Great morning, great morning, great morning. Today we're going to be talking about some things that's really going to help some people out. It's something that you really are pretty good at. And when it comes to this whole idea of work-life balance, I'm going to challenge some people's perspective, Sheri, because I think that most people, when they hear the word balance, they hear at the same time. Do everything, balancing everything at the same time.
Right.
And we're going to talk a little bit about sort of our philosophy around that and how we're able to accomplish a lot with the same amount of time that everybody has. So, Nikkei, it's good to see you.
Good morning.
Sidna, good to see you. Old timer. I know that's right, Nikkei. That's okay. That's okay. We all need some help. I thank God for the first timers, the old timers. Officer Henry is in the building.
Hey, good morning.
Good to see you, Craig. Good to see you, man. Listen, guys, do me a huge favor. Tag somebody. Turn this out. Yep, it's my straw from my water. Oh, by the way, I'm getting it in, y'all. I've been real good, babe. Last 4 days, I've been able to drink a gallon or more a day, and it's getting more and more consistent. For those of you guys who are just jumping on, perhaps you don't know us, my name's Glenn P. Brooks Jr. I am an author. I'm a speaker. I'm a coach, and this is Breakfast with the Brookses, and we're super excited to be with you. I'm sitting here next to the lovely light skin with no whipstick on this morning.
Sheri Brooks Jr., author, speaker, relationship, and life balance coach. And today, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about life balance today. That's something that's very important to have, to be able to gain, and especially wanted to talk about this now as summer is wrapping up, especially for parents that have kids getting ready to go back to school, and some across the country have already gone back to school. How do you juggle it all?
Yeah.
How do you handle, all that you have going on, all that your kids have going on?
Yeah.
Even if you don't have children, just all that you have going on in your life, your spouse, or just you as a single individual. How is it possible to really get it all done?
Yeah. And go ahead. No.
And it's a challenge for a lot of people to be able to juggle a lot of things. Because the reality in life, most people don't have just one role.
Right.
You don't just,
those days are gone.
Just go to work and that's it. You
right.
know, whether you're involved in church, whether you have, extracurricular activities you're involved in. Like I said, if you have children, if you have a spouse, if you got family, it's so many other things that pull on you. But how are you able to actually do it all and be effective in everything that you do?
I apologize, guys. I'm trying to get my Instagram people on, but we're gonna work it out. We're gonna work it out. But go ahead, babe. I'm listening.
And so we're going to talk about that today. And fortunately for me, because of my temperament, that has a lot to do with it. But also I think my being in the military taught me a lot of things. But I've been able to learn how to really be able to effectively do a lot of things and do them well. But there was a season where
you gotta explain
I allowed it to stress me out.
Yeah.
It got to be too much.
Yeah.
And I was doing way too much, and I was leaving out one very important component that needed to be included in that so that I could do it in a healthy manner.
Exactly. Real quick, guys, if you guys are just jumping on and this is your first time on, do me a favor, put first timer. We also want to ask you, if you've not yet subscribed to our channel, do me a favor, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just simply go to www.youtube.com/the CR Coach. Why are you dancing? Because I'm fancy with my little. You need to go and get. I'm being fancy. I'm being fancy. Y'all see we got our logo up there. We got our logos down here.
Discover some new toys.
I'm discovering some new toys, some different things that we're going to make this work. But I want you guys to make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you guys get the notifications when
did
we
you
go live.
talk to them about the poll we did yesterday? For any of them
So
that
no,
were
we can go back and do that. I didn't talk to them. I did a live this morning, and I kind of just said thank you to everybody that participated.
So any of you that do follow us on Facebook, yesterday we did a poll. We were out shopping for a picture for some artwork for our living room, and we posed. There was 2 photos that we posed of 2 pieces of art. Which one we were going to choose, and you guys overwhelmingly selected the one behind me, which is what is that? The New York.
It's the Brooklyn
Bridge.
Yeah.
And so we chose that one, and it actually fits in really well. So I wanted to thank those of you that contributed, that commented, and helped us to make that decision.
Yeah.
Because I was torn between the 2.
Yeah. Hold on, guys. We're going to go live on Instagram really quickly. I just want to introduce them to the room. We're excited to have them. Welcome, Instagram. Welcome. I know that we have not been showing the Breakfast with the Brookses page a lot of love here lately. We've been in flux. We are finally in our new digs. And Sheri and I are super excited this morning, babe. And Instagram is here. I need you to bounce back and forth and be able to look at them and YouTube and the whole bit. Okay. What we want to do, guys, is if you've never been along for the ride for Breakfast with the Brookses, make sure you stick around. Do me a favor, go to the link in the bio, and then at that particular point, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, which you'll get all the notifications. We're still trying to get our Instagram game right. And we're going to go from there.
Right. And so if you are on with us this morning, post where you're coming from, where you're joining us from. What city and state are you in, so we know where people are.
Absolutely.
And as he said before, if you're new to our channel, please identify yourself as new so that we can greet you. I see a couple of people that look like they may be new. I'm not sure who Bobby50WR. If you could give us your...
That's on YouTube.
Real
name. Give us your government name.
And where you're joining us from. We'd appreciate it so that we can welcome you. But welcome, everybody.
Yep. So listen, we're going to get into this content. For those of you guys who are on Instagram, again, NC Sweet Pea, do me a favor. Drop your government name. And where are you viewing us from? Your government name. And where are you viewing us from? That way we can engage you guys a little bit more personally. So today on YouTube Live, look up at the camera, baby, not just down at the comments. So we got comments down here. So when Sheri is looking down here, she's not looking at y'all. She's not ignoring you. We've got Instagram over there. We've got YouTube there. So we're trying to figure this all out. It's going to get better as the weeks goes. Not so painful. For those of you guys who are tuning in by replay, we apologize for the crazy, but we are just getting ourselves together. West Florida is in the building.
We got Percyville.
Oh, that's Wilma from Baltimore. Wilma, we love you. We're glad to know that you are on. Catherine, listen, sweetheart, we are finally in our permanent situation. So we will be doing our very best to go live on Instagram every single week with Breakfast with the Brookses. Here's what we know to be true, babe. Mm-hmm. There are people who have preferences on the devices that they use, the platforms that they use, and we're not those people where we're just going to make you go to one or the other. If you have a preference, we're going to try our best to accommodate those, and then we're going to go from there. So today we're talking about what some have termed as a work-life balance. Here's what I'm going to submit, and I'm going to set this up on the very beginning because I need you guys to understand a philosophy that I sort of came into 4 years ago, about 4 years ago now, that has become not only the philosophy by which we've built our business, but it's also the philosophy that I have learned how to live my life to get more productivity out of what it is that I'm doing. Right? And so it's a principle that comes from the book, The One Thing. It's called, What is the One Thing Such by Doing It Makes Everything Either Easier or Unnecessary? The book talks about that there's really no such thing as work balance, but it's not really saying that. There's no such thing as balancing everything at the exact same time. And so when we talk about that, Sheri, what we're talking about is that when you are going hard for your health, there is a zone that you're in at that moment. Right. You're not working in that moment on your health. You're not trying to read a book. You're not trying to eat right. You're at the gym.
Right.
You're in that moment. It's blocked off for that moment and your day. And so we're going to talk about time blocking. We're going to talk about things over the next couple of weeks, and we're going to unpack this just a little bit because we have been extremely fortunate and being able to produce a lot. Between the two of us, we've written 7 books. We're working on an 8th book, going to launch an 8th book, Lord willing, by 2020, talking about how to do marriage and how to do business successfully, right? But we really want to help people understand how do we function in those slots as well as we do.
Right. And one thing, like he said, is essential is time blocking. And we're going to talk a lot about that today. It's possible to, like, okay, so for me, I work a full-time job. I'm in school. I run a business. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother. I have my aging parents that I help take care of. And so that's, 7 different roles.
Yeah, you definitely Jamaican.
And also, I have to have time for me, and that's that's that little secret essential thing that we're going to talk about. Also, is that you have to have time for yourself. And so, how is it possible in one day for me to be able to do all of that? I'm at work 8 hours, 10 hours out of the day.
Because you work 4 days a week.
I work 4 days a week
on her 9 to 5.
For my 9 to 5. I work 10 hours a day,
right,
for 4 days a week. And so for 10 hours a day, I'm doing that. But then I still have to do schoolwork.
Yeah.
I have to be a wife. I have to be a mother. I have to be a caretaker.
All of the above. We're going to have to start listening.
Yeah, all that.
It's a lot.
So how is it possible to take care of myself in the midst of that? And so the key to that for me was time blocking.
Yeah.
So I had to learn how to segment my day. And so basically I wake up in the morning. I do my devotional time. That's about very first thing in the morning. I have to do something to get myself centered for the day.
Yeah.
And so whether that's you doing yoga, doing meditation, whatever your thing is, take 15, 30 minutes every morning. And it may cause you may have to get up a little earlier to do it, but it's possible.
Sorry about that, Instagram.
So you have to be able to do something for yourself to get yourself centered first. What typically happens is we jump up in the morning and we running. Yep. I'm jumping up, I'm rushing, I'm getting the kids ready, I'm jumping up, I'm hopping in the shower, running straight to work, and I never slow down from when I wake up. Yeah. It's like you just wake up and you run. Yeah. And that is the worst way to start your day because you don't have time to focus and set your mind on, okay, this is what I have to do for the day. Yeah. You just jump and just start running. And so when you do that, you lose focus of everything that you really have on your plate for that day, and that's how you start dropping stuff off because you haven't set your day. You haven't set a plan for your day at the very beginning. So
I want to stop there for a second. I want to drill down on that. I get it, Kat. Listen, I get it. You hit the ground and you run and you keep going like your hair is on fire. A lot of that has to do with what your temperament is. So when we're talking about setting the day, as a flamingo temperament, for my psychologists in the room, a sanguine temperament. My temperament is to think last minute. My temperament or my bent is to do things without planning. My bent is to come off the top of my dome and not have any structure in my life. Here's what I've learned. The devil is in the details. If I allow my flamingo to run my life day to day, I would never get anything done.
Right.
And the reason why is because the flamingo only wants to do fun stuff. Right. The flamingo only wants to do things that are exciting, sociable. They don't want to do anything that requires discipline or work or structure. If you guys want to find out a little bit more about what your actual temperament is, do me a favor. If you're on Instagram, DM me. I'll send you a link where you can take an assessment and figure out what your actual temperament is. Or actually, just go to our website, www.thecrcoach.com, and you can get an assessment there, take the assessment, figure out what your animal is, and then schedule a debrief with me, because that's where we'll actually overlay that DISC assessment with your animal. But Sheri, because you are a turtle by nature,
which is a melancholy,
which is a
choleric.
Yeah. So
choleric.
No. Let me do the definitions for him real quick. A high D is a lion, which is a choleric in psychological terms, right? A high I in DISC is what we would call a flamingo. That would be called a sanguine in the psychological terms. If you go to the S, which is a high S in disc terms. That is what we call a chameleon over on our side, and in the psychological world, that would be called a melancholy, right? And then the C, which we call or refer to as a turtle on the disc assessment, is what psychologists would refer to as phlegmatic. And so what you have in all of those is characteristics that are true of those temperaments, right? And the problem, baby, is that when you do not honor your animal, you then don't become as productive as possible. As a flamingo, I literally have to switch over into what 32% turtle I have in order to structure my day. At some point, we'll probably go live from my office where I have a war wall that I don't have a list of things to do anymore. I have a priority list.
Right.
I don't have but about 3 or 4 real priorities on any given day. Everything that I have to do falls within those priorities. And so that's why when we talk about what is the one thing such by doing it, it makes everything either easier or unnecessary. As a turtle, you have to begin to say and identify what's unnecessary. What's on my plate that's absolutely unnecessary.
Right. So when I start the day that way, during my devotion time, I'm also thinking about, okay, so what do I have on my plate today? What do I need to get accomplished today? What has to be done today?
Yep.
And so you start out your day doing that. And so for some people, that's making a list. Some people it's having a to-do list, or it's like you do your war wall every day to see what your priorities are. Somehow, whatever way works for your brain, you have to be able to prioritize your day.
Correct.
And say, this is what needs to be done today. Because what happens when you don't do that, like Glenn said, you're flying off the seat of your pants. And so for those of you that are on with us this morning, how many of you jump up and just start the day running? You don't take the time.
Put a 1 in the chat.
You don't take the time to just really sit back in the morning and think about really what do you have to do today.
How many of y'all approach your days like that? Be honest.
Right. How many of you
do?
No
judgment.
Most people do.
No judgment. Just do me a favor. Put it in the chat. The reason why, guys, we're trying to get a feel for where to go with this content over the next couple of weeks, babe. There are some people that don't wake up quick and they approach their day so slow it makes them late.
Right.
Because in a lot of ways, you are in your head thinking about all the things that you got to do and you don't move. You understand what I'm saying? That can come from a high turtle temperament. And what will happen is, if you're not careful, because you don't have all the facts on what you need to do on an area, you stay even more stuck, if that's a word, if that's a phrase.
Right. And so for those, we got a few ones coming in.
Yep.
So for those of you that it has been your routine, that's been what you typically do, I want to challenge you this week. Get up 15, 30 minutes earlier and take some time to just center yourself, like I said, whether that's you doing devotional, meditation, yoga, whatever your thing is, but also during the time, at the conclusion of that time, just mentally take a mental note, or if you need to write yourself a list, what is it that I have to do today?
Yep.
And when I say have to do, that includes I have to go to work.
Yeah.
After work, I have to go to the grocery store.
Right.
I have to pick the kids up.
Right.
I have to go stop by my parents' house. Whatever you have to do, or I have homework to do today. And so that way, what that does is throughout the day, you're going to remember, okay, this is something that I have to do. So that also helps you from getting derailed, because especially for the flamingo sanguines, somebody at work will be like, hey, let's go to happy hour after work.
And you be like, let's go.
You've forgotten that you had homework to do, or you've forgotten that you had a meeting you were supposed to go to after work, or you were supposed to be hooking up with somebody else after work, or that you had to do something for the kids or whatever. And so you will forget that, and you'll be halfway on your way to happy hour and then get a call and be like, hey, where you at?
Come on, y'all. All my flamingos represent. Y'all know.
What?
And you done forgot. Now, babe, I want to interject here. And guys, we're just really kind of scratching the surface on some things that we're going to talk about over the next few weeks. And here's what I need you guys to really understand. We're going to systematically go through, and I think what I'd like to do, baby, is sort of take this by temperament.
Okay.
And so I want to deal with what would it look like for a lion in terms of the way they process things to approach their day from a time blocking and from a organizational perspective.
Mm-hmm.
What would it look like for a flamingo? What would it look like for a chameleon? What would it look like for a turtle? Because we all are very, very different. Now, here's the other part. A lot of us guys, you need to understand this. Sorry about that. Instagram looks like we had a call. I forgot to put y'all on Do Not Disturb. But the truth is that many of us, babe, if we're not careful, we don't honor the other animals that are in us. So that's why one of the things that's really important, if you've never taken this assessment, go to our website, take the assessment so that you are clear on what your temperament is, because a lot of this stuff won't make sense if you don't really know. I mean, if you're guessing, that's one thing. But if you know, takes it to a whole nother level.
Right, and the reality is everybody has a little bit of all of the temperaments.
Exactly.
So even if you're a sanguine, even if you're a flamingo, you're just this
and let's
bubbly,
use the animals just so that everybody
you're
is
a flamingo. Yep. You're a flamingo, and you're the social butterfly. This is You're always ready
engaged.
to run and fun. And
walk into the room with your mouth first.
Right, but there you have, it might be 10%, it might be 5%.
Yeah.
You have 5% chameleon or 5% turtle in you, and so this is where you pull on that 5%.
Yeah. To
be able to take 15 minutes a day.
Exactly.
To organize your day.
We call that the crossover. Put that in the chat. Mm-hmm. The crossover. Because I'm able to honor the 32% turtle that I have, I do that first. Normally, and just to give you a quick example, because I'm so flamingo, I'm 99% flamingo in my natural. I'm 97% flamingo in my adaptive.
So we got a question on Instagram.
Let me. You just went to your flamingo that fast. Let me finish.
Finish.
Y'all see how she crossed over that fast? And I had to raise up and go into my line and say, wait a minute, hold up. I'm not gonna go because the flamingo is here. Let's go to the question. You know,
I'm lose it though.
I know it's okay. We can scroll back.
Okay.
So what I want you guys to clearly understand that this is a work in progress.
Right.
And you just watched it in real time, how I just switched from one animal to the other. And it's important for you to know how to do that, because if you're not careful, here's how it goes in your head. Well, that was who I was when you met me. You already knew that I'm not a morning person. You get what I'm saying? And so we believe lies, that we tell ourselves things that are not true. We believe it, and we begin to structure our life that way. So I really want you to take the assessment, figure out what animal you are. We're going to go over each one, and each week we're going to kind of deal with a little bit about how each one show up. Now, to go back to your question, and we can just simply scroll down and find the question on Instagram. You see that, baby? You see how that works? It's so nice, right? Would your personal list be separate from work?
I would say no. And the reason I say no, because there are only 24 hours in a day.
Yeah, 86,400 seconds or something like that. Right,
so there's no division. You only got 24 hours. And so you're going to build in your personal and your business life all in that day.
Yeah.
And so it's not two lists, it's one list.
Correct.
And so you want to put it
that's
all
huge.
Together, because it's only 24 hours. You don't have a separate 24 hours for your personal.
No. That's great perspective,
for your business life.
That's great.
So, and that's why I said one of the things on my list every day is I have to go to work. I'm at work for 10 hours out of the day. And so, but during my day, for me, like during lunch, okay, so let me give you an idea of what my day looks like. Okay. A typical day for me. I get up at 5 a.m. I get up,
You get up at what?
5 a.m.
See, y'all see how she first started her day by...
Quarter to five. 4:45.
You're making my point even more.
Okay.
What she's doing off the break is she's cheating time.
Right.
In other words, most people love sleeping in.
And I love sleeping in too.
What we do is we offset our day by disciplining ourselves to get up earlier, because in most cases, and statistics will prove this, people are more productive earlier on because there's nothing else going on. Nothing's vying for your time. The problem is that because we burn the candle at both ends, we can't get up in the morning because we've not disciplined ourselves to go to bed on time or in enough time to be able to do that. I just stepped on somebody's toes. I'm sorry, my bad. Keep going.
It's okay. So I get up 4:45, 5 o'clock. I spend my devotional time first. Then I get up, typically go to the gym for 30 to 45 minutes, go walk on a treadmill. Then I come up, I get dressed up, I'll get to that part. I get dressed, I take my shower, get dressed, I get to work. I get to work by 7 a.m. I work from 7 until 5:30 p.m. The middle of my day at work, from 1 to 2, I work out at work. I have a trainer at work. we work out during the day. So I get.
She's on a mission to lose 55 pounds by 55 years old, which is next March.
But,
so this joker right here is doing the most.
Even when I wasn't.
Sorry, I digress.
That's okay. Even when I wasn't working out, that hour, I would take that hour to do something personal every day. So whether it's working out, whether it's if I had to go run an errand, that was someplace close to work, I could go do that. If I had some stuff for the business that I could do during the day, if it was sending out emails, or even because I'm in school, if I had some schoolwork that I could get done during that time, I take my lunch. I don't take my lunch hour to just sit in the lunchroom and eat and run my mouth, because that's unproductive.
Ooh, say that one more time.
And so
say
I
that
do
one more time.
something that's relaxing.
Say that one more time.
I don't take my lunch and sit and just eat my lunch and run my mouth, or sit and watch the soap
Thank
opera.
you. I just need you to say that again.
And the reason I do that is because I know I only have 24 hours in a day.
Yep.
And so I have to make every moment count.
Yep.
Now, it doesn't mean it's work all the time.
Yep.
But I do segment that time so that I'm being productive. That productive for me may be me going out to my car and have a conversation with my girlfriend during that time. Whatever I deem I want to do during that hour that's going to be productive, that's going to add value to me, that's going to help eliminate something that I have to do later during the day. Whatever it is, it's something productive. Like I said, if it's just going for a walk, if it's working out, whatever it is, I utilize my lunch break and make that something that's beneficial to me.
So guys, I want you guys to understand, and again, Sheri is a high turtle, high chameleon. By temperament, they are very analytical, and by temperament, she's very detailed. So detailed for you, order, operations, standard operating procedures, the list, doing things within bounds. That's natural for you. It's how your mind works. So for those of us that are lion and or flamingo, our mind works differently. I'm going to teach you over the next couple of weeks, if you guys will ride with us, how to hijack your mind. Put that in the chat. How do I hijack my mind? How do I hijack my brain and in essence make my brain do something it naturally doesn't want to do?
Okay, let me finish overwhelming them.
Oh, okay, Jesus, so God help us. God help us. We're getting ready to get overwhelmed some more. That is turtle.
Then 5:30.
When they talk.
Right.
I'm sorry.
So then I get off at 5:30. Then I typically either go by my parents, stop by my parents' house, or I stop by the store, do anything that I have to do before I get home. So if I need to run by my daughter's house, anything like that, I'll do that first before I get home. Then when I get home, typically certain days we have coaching calls, so I know that those days I'm going to have that to do. And then, so there's a block of time, typically between 7 and 9, that either is dedicated to coaching or our groups, or that time is dedicated to me doing my school work or doing business work. So that 7 to 9 block every day, Monday through Thursday. Monday through Thursday.
Yeah, normally.
Is segmented. There's something I'm doing, either family stuff, business stuff, or schoolwork during that time. And I know each day what I'm doing that day. Typically Mondays and Wednesdays is schoolwork. Tuesdays and Thursdays is business.
You're killing us over here, baby.
I'm sorry. I told you I'm overwhelming you guys, but it's okay.
Yes.
And so then
help us out.
From 9 to 10 is downtime.
Yes.
Where we just hang out.
Yes.
Do whatever. But when I get home, if I get home before 7, I can get home, which typically I do. I get home normally about 6:30, 6:30. I usually, I'll get to that. So, because they trying to figure out when do we eat.
I got
you. I'm going to get to that. And so 9 o'clock we chill.
Because we do eat. Jesus.
10 o'clock I'm going to bed.
I love this.
So just to address the eating part, because you guys are probably figuring, well, you ain't ate nothing. How'd you cook food? Every Sunday.
Every Sunday.
Every Sunday.
Every one of them.
Every Sunday.
Even when Jesus is not up in the morning, on Sunday afternoons.
Let me back up. On Saturdays, we go grocery shopping.
I hate the grocery store.
I typically go grocery
every
shopping
Saturday.
On Saturday.
Jesus help me.
On Sunday,
God help me, Jesus.
Get up, go to church, come home from church, and I food prep for the week.
Yes, she does.
So all of our meals are prepped for the week. So when I get home in the evening, it's like a TV dinner, but it's a meal that I've prepared.
Now you know you old.
And
you just don't anybody 30 and younger, y'all don't know what the ham sandwich or TV dinner is.
They know what a TV dinner is.
I love it.
And
so keep going,
I
babe.
food prep on Sundays. And so really during the week, the only meal we have to physically prepare may be breakfast.
Yeah. So let me just back up really quickly. I want to add some excitement to this. You guys are right now crawling up underneath the thing saying, God, make her shut up, please. Jesus, help. Juju, what's up, baby girl? Good to see you.
Hey.
We are talking about how to legit achieve a work-life balance. Here's the problem. Most people approach their life trying to balance everything at the same time. And that doesn't work. Fundamentally, it's like the idea of, I'll say it this way. Most of us understand this idea of multitasking. Mm-hmm. Multitasking scientifically
does not work.
Is not even true.
Mm-mm.
Your brain, physically, from a physiological standpoint, does not have the capacity to do multiple things simultaneously, effectively. Mm-hmm. And it's been proven. So we're not going to even get into the data on that. However, if the two things that you're doing are similar in the process to them, you could potentially pull them off. You still are going to be thinking and engaging one more than the other. Mm-hmm. I'll give you an example. If you're on the computer and you're on the phone and you're listening to music listening on a computer is a passive medium. It doesn't take any physical engagement for you to listen to music because you don't have to engage it back. However, you change that dynamic to that of now a person walks into your room while you're on the computer. For you to listen to them is going to cause you to have to physically disengage and re-engage. That time that it takes for you to come off your computer to go to engage this person is now going to make you have to rewire your brain to be able to effectively engage them on a legit level. Here's the challenge. Because I'm talking to you, that's not passive, because you want to engage the process. It's called undivided attention, right? Most people get irritated if you are doing one thing while they're talking to you. The reason why is because as human beings, we want to feel like that you are engaging this process. For me as a flamingo, I talk too much. So I have to pay attention to my flamingo, because if I'm talking to my wife and she goes to turtle mode, I'll watch her glass over.
Right.
Well, if I'm not in tune with my animal enough, I won't stop at that moment and say, wait a minute, did you understand what I was saying? Are we good? Did I say too much? What are you thinking?
Right. And another example of that, and people do this all the time. If you ever think about it, you're ever driving somewhere and you get a phone call or you're talking to somebody on the phone, and then you look up and you're like, where am I?
Where am I? What happened?
How'd I get here so fast?
Right.
Because what happens is your brain switches to that phone call, and so your subconscious is driving the car, but you're not consciously driving the car.
And that's dangerous, right?
You know, and so that happens to people all the time because your brain can't handle those two tasks at the same time. And even with the example Glenn was given, you know, you're in the office and you're typing and somebody comes in. If you continue typing, you're not going to hear everything that person is saying.
Correct.
And so you're going to miss stuff. And so you'll be like, what? When they walk away, you can be like, what was they talking about?
Correct.
What were they saying?
Correct.
Because you can't do both at the same time.
Right.
So we have this misnomer that we can multitask, and you know, in your job they tell you, well, you can multitask, you can do this and you can do that.
Yep.
It'll get done.
But the question is, what is the quality?
Right.
What
how
is the
effective
quality?
Is it going to be?
So let me just answer this question really quickly on Instagram. So Juju, Rev Juju, my sister from another Mister, who and the same father, by the way. I know y'all gonna mess you up. My sister from another Mister, but we both have the same father. Go figure that one out, and we'll there's a prize for you at the end. So she asked the question, how can I find out what animal I am? Jude, do me a favor. Go to our website, www.thecrcoach.com.
You can take the assessment.
Take the assessment. It's on our website. Somebody do me a favor on Instagram. Put that in the chat. Nikkei, put that in the chat. If you're on Instagram, put that in the chat so that they can get it. www.the, it stands for Constant Relationship, coach.com. And it's on our website. I want you to take it, and then what I want you to do is schedule an assessment. It'll also give you the ability. Once you sign up, it is a charge for it, so full disclosure. It's a 22-page document that it's going to spit out that's going to revolutionize your whole entire life. And when I say that from this standpoint, it's going to give you not only how to engage people based on your temperament in relationships, but it's going to help you on your job. It's actually the DISC assessment, and then you'll sign up. But we overlay that assessment with the 4 animals so that you can remember what the heck a D, a I, an S, a C is. Yeah. How does it form? How does it formate? And how does it engage people? Then you can take that, and I know in your case, Drew, you're a pastor. And so to engage your congregation, your leaders, it will change the game. There's a reason why certain greeters should not be greeting. Because they are lions. It's called the chick with the white gloves talking about you need to sit right here, man. You can't sit here. You can't sit here. That's where the pastor sit. And that person that they talking to will never come back to the church ever again. Because you messed around and put a lion, because a lion can be very results oriented. They're going to get the work done, and you can count on them in that regard. But they're going to hurt people relationally because lions are results driven. They're not relationship driven. You want a chameleon on that greeter. You want a flamingo on that greeter. With a chameleon overseeing the team. Trust me.
Because if you got a bunch of flamingos,
oh my God, they'll be sitting there.
They'll be like,
look, girl, and they done hug everybody that you trying to get the message started, and they still hugging people
in the foyer,
in the lobby. Right. It's like when they get that, somebody go get her or go get him. So these things become super critical, guys, for you to be able to not only be able to figure out who you are, but how you should show up for people. Now, I know we're running a little bit over today, but I wanted to lay this thing out over these next few weeks. Sheri and I are going to do our level best to teach you guys how we're able to be so productive. Let me help y'all understand this really clearly. I don't think structured by nature. It is not in my temperament to think that. I saw a comment that Nikkei said, I wish I could be that organized. Let me say this, Nikkei. I want you to change your language from I want to be that organized. Not I wish. I desire to be that organized. Not if I can, not I hope, not that ain't me. I am going to be that organized because here's the why. It will allow me to accomplish more in less time, and thus I will have the life I really want. Does that make sense, guys? At that particular point, you've changed it from a goal to a mission. And once you do that, once you switch over from this is a goal that I want to accomplish to this is my mission in life, it changes your mindset, it changes your perspective, and it'll change the game. Y'all gotta forgive the motorcycles and the fast cars. We live in Virginia Beach. It's summertime, and they getting it in. But I promise you guys, if you get clear on this, Nikkei, and for those of you guys who feel like, oh my God, I could never pull this off, let me explain something to you. When I met Sheri 20 years ago, I thought that she probably wouldn't want to talk to me after she saw my apartment. After she saw how what my closet looked like. But here's what I lacked in my life. And Catherine, I'm telling you right now, and you never went back. I know, Kat, I know it, because they had the wrong person on the door. Right. Kat said that actually happened to me at a church, and she never went back. Well, that's a church that missed out, right? Because what we know is you're a beautiful human being, and the truth of the matter is that there's a certain level of value. You could have been brought to that local assembly. They missed out.
Right.
And people miss out in relationships. People miss out on jobs. Y'all, there's some of you guys who walk off of jobs because the way they run things doesn't make sense. It's not because you weren't supposed to be there. It's that they did not know how to organize their job in order to attract and retain people, organize the environment or the work setting. So we're going to go into that, guys. I appreciate you guys so much. Listen, we could talk for 4 hours straight right now. I'm not going to overwhelm you guys with that. I think you kind of already did that, boo. God bless your heart.
I'm going to break all that down.
We're going to break
these next couple of weeks.
Yes.
We're going to break all of that down.
Unpack it all.
Understand how to be able to time block your day. Like I said, that's just one strategy. That's one way that we're going to talk about.
Give me a benefit real quick, babe, before we let them go. What is the benefit? Because when you and I met, you were so organized that it drove the rest of us bananas.
Right. And full disclosure, when we first met, I was OCD.
Yeah.
So it was way to the to the left.
www.thecrcoach.com. Kim is asking for that. I think that's Kim Broussard from Maryland, our old friend. Kim, it's www.thecrcoach.com. I just switched straight into my Flamingo because
in the middle of me talking.
I apologize, boo.
Yeah.
You see how she got me?
Okay.
And it ain't an argument. We're going to keep it moving. Baby, I'm so sorry. Go ahead. I apologize.
So I was OCD, and so I was very extreme to the other end. Even though everything that I shared, what I do in my day seems like a lot, it's not, I'm not legalistic about it. Whereas in the past, when we first met, it was like literally like boom, 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 boom. If anything was out of order, if anything was out of place, if you were 5 minutes late, there was hell to pay. And so there's grace now in everything that I do. There's grace even for myself. If I run over time in something, it's not like I'm so like, oh my God, I gotta get off the phone because it's 7:00 and but I have a mental time block in my mind that this is that time when I need to get that done. If I'm at my parents' house after work, I'm not gonna be like, all right, I gotta run. I gotta get out of here.
My time blocking makes it necessary, and then you just bounce.
No. So it gives you an outline for the day that helps you to remember the things that are important. And I think the number one thing is prioritizing your day, knowing what are the things that are important that have to get done.
That's key.
And it helps you to try to achieve those things. Some days you're not going to get it all done,
and it's okay.
But then you just add that on the next day.
Right.
I mean, it's no different than people on their jobs. When they teach you how to do task lists, and I don't know if they do this anymore. I know when I started working, they taught us how to do a daily task list. And so you would write down what are the things for the day, the priorities. I'm dating myself, but it's okay.
Yeah, you are, boo.
It's okay.
They say you're gonna give me a muzzle. Teresa's like, I'm gonna come to the. Thanks for putting that in the chat, Kat. I appreciate you, sweetie.
Anyway,
go ahead.
So they would teach you how to do a task list, and what you would achieve that day, you would check off, and if you didn't complete it that day, you would just put it on the next day. It's the same thing, but it just helps to give you an outline instead of you just flying by the seat of your pants.
Right, because that
trying
don't
to figure out
work.
what you got going on. You lose more things when you don't have some type of outline for the day every day.
Mm-hmm. So listen, I just put up our website on the on YouTube. I put it up. It's over top of me. www.thecrcoach.com. Right there. But babe, you almost hit me in my head. Listen, on IG, www.thecrcoach.com. Kat, thank you so much, sweetie, for dropping the C. No, it's right. She just capitalized it. So it's thecrcoach.com. You're welcome, Kim. You're welcome. Listen, guys, over these next few weeks, we're going to unpack these things. I know it is overwhelming now. I want you to, for the next 2 or 3 weeks, to do one thing. Schedule to be on Breakfast with the Brookses at 8 a.m., number one. Number two, stop with the negative self-talk and telling yourself what you can't do, because already you've lost. Okay? I just want to let you know. And this is just, trust me, I had to live through this. When I allow myself to co-sign on what I think by saying it with my mouth, I'm solidifying that this is what I'm going to carry out. There's nothing, Lewis Pugh said this, there's nothing more powerful than the made-up mind. This is a long-distance swimmer guy who has swam across the Arctic Ocean, right? Like in sub-zero temperatures. And he has convinced himself that it's a mind over matter thing. And what I've learned to do is that people can talk themselves out of succeeding, or they can talk themselves into succeeding, because what follows with that talk is an action. So I need you guys to stop with the negative self-talk and stop telling yourself what you can't do. One huge benefit of this way of living is that you get your life back.
Right.
I have a lot going on, but I am not overwhelmed. I have a lot of things I'm responsible to and for, but I am not overwhelmed. It will increase your faith level, because now you are left to now figure out, God, where are you in this process for my believers? For those of you guys who are looking to get promoted and maybe looking to be found, if you're single and you're dating and you're a young lady and you're looking for a brother, or a brother you're looking for a young lady, and it frees your mind to think possibility. And it allows you to be on the right page at the time you need to be on it. And when you're not on that page, you're okay with that. So now Sheri can be okay with the fact that if I were to, and I don't want to mess up our situation, but I'll show you. Right now, over in this corner, because we just moved, she has a corner stock full of stuff that hasn't been unpacked yet. There was a time that she would have driven herself crazy to get that unpacked before we go live, because it's like, oh my God, the fact that I know it's there is going to mess me up. Forget the fact that y'all can't even see it. Right? Forget but I'm just saying this, and for Instagram, I can probably show you guys. Y'all see that big old crazy?
I do have a cover with it.
She has a cover over it, so she's doing better. But it's stuff that needs to be dealt with because we just moved and we getting our situation all squared away. The truth of the matter is that this OCD has learned how to let stuff go. Put that in the chat. Let stuff go. So the benefits of this, guys, is life-changing, to say the least. And so I just want to encourage you guys to come on back, share this out with somebody if you have the ability to do that. And if you would, please subscribe to our channel. Definitely go to the website, thecrcoach.com. Sign up, take the assessment. We'll get you squared away. And at the end of the day, baby, here's what I'm going to promise you. We all need some help. We all need some help, y'all. We ain't nobody got a corner on this market, I promise you. We all got problems, and I want you guys to know that you're not by yourself. At the end of the day, we all need some help, and we'll see you guys next week, 8 a.m., Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. We'll talk to you soon. Give me a kiss. You did good today.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Y'all be good. We'll talk soon.